Hey guys, so thanks for joining me here at Manifestor Uncensored. I'm Dar, and today's topic is going to be about being a manifestor parent. Now, I'm not sure that I'm going to have anything earth-shattering or unique to say on the topic. I guess we'll see. That remains to be seen. But it's inspired by a viewer, Robert. Thank you, Robert, who was curious to hear about how my children experienced my aura as a manifestor, right? Because as manifestors, we have what is known as a closed and repelling aura. So, there can be concern about that, right? Like, as a parent, is my child going to feel loved? Is my child going to feel like I'm cold or unapproachable or what have you, right? I mean, it's our aura. We don't know how they're experiencing it, right? So I said I would try to get my kids on to talk about it. They're grown-ups now. And they both agreed, but the scheduling was really, really difficult. So then I said, maybe I'll do them one at a time. So one of them and I were going to do this video yesterday, and then she was kind of like, I said, you don't want to do it? And she said, no, I don't really know what I'm going to say. She couldn't really think of anything to attribute to my aura. So instead of actually doing the video, we said, all right, well, let's talk about this. Let's see if we can find an example or if we can dig up anything that she might have experienced or felt that could be attributed to my aura. And long story short, we actually couldn't, right? We talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the bottom line, though, is that nothing really was able to be attributed to my aura because she never really felt that I was unapproachable. But she did have times when there were topics that she was afraid to bring up with me or things that she was afraid to tell me. But it wasn't just me, it was also my generator husband. These were things that she thought we wouldn't agree with or we wouldn't react well to or we wouldn't like, right? So it's not that she never was afraid to approach me about something, but it wasn't just me, it was also my husband. And so she even said, she's like, it had nothing to do with your aura. It had to do with, I didn't think you would want to hear it's something I didn't want to, just like any kid has things they don't want to tell their parent, just like anyone who has to deliver, bad news or tell somebody something they might not want to hear, what have you, right? So like we couldn't attribute anything to my aura. I tried to figure out if she felt that my husband was, more affectionate or more approachable or more this or more that, more warm and fuzzy than I. And, she said, no, not at all. She never felt that way. And, she's not saying that to spare my feelings because, we're pretty brutally honest with each other about these kinds of things. And she said, no. And then I said, well, what about my mom? She's a generator, and she babysat you a lot, any difference there? And again, no, not, my mom was not more approachable or more warm and fuzzy or anything. So like, I would say for manifestors who are concerned about how a baby or child might receive them, I would say this is probably good news. My daughter also suspects that her twin would probably say just about the same. Because we talked about this for quite a while and, again, couldn't attribute anything. Now I will say, is it possible that I overcompensated as a manifestor for my aura? If I did that, it was instinctively because at the time when they were children and babies or whatever, I did not even know I was a manifestor. I had never heard of human design. I knew nothing of it. So if I did overcompensate, it was instinctive. Having said that, there's nothing wrong with overcompensating when they're like children, with lots of hugs and lots of I love yous and lots of open communication, because I will say that, you know, like having them was like, you know, like the best experience of my life. And I love them more than life itself. So, showing them affection was easy, you know. I hugged them a lot when they were little, and I always told them I loved them. And I talked to them a lot right from the start, like even when they were newborns, when they were infants, and it was just the three of us, because they're twins. It was just the three of us alone in the house together and stuff. I mean, I would talk to them all the time, and I would read to them all the time. So we established open communication very young. So the open communication, the hugs, the I love yous, that may have made a difference. But as far as like how if my aura was repelling to my kids, it's not obvious. It's not obvious. I mean, listen, maybe nature just takes care of that, because, regardless of your type, your kids need to feel loved, right? So I don't know. But the bottom line is we couldn't come up with her feeling any auric, push or shove from me, anything that would keep her at bay, or keep us from being close, or keep her from feeling, love and affection from me. So I guess that is it. I do still want to have my twins on to talk about their life experience and their charts, because it's very fascinating that their charts are almost identical and they are so different. And I think that's really interesting for some people who are into human design. So I would still like to do that. And, they can talk about that. But, as far as my aura, like my daughter just felt like she just had nothing to really add or say. So I said, okay, I'll just go on and say it myself. So anyway, I hope you got something out of that. And thanks for joining me. Bye for now.